Hey, everybody. I know y'all have missed me. You got Lady at the bar here. I see we could probably do with more light, but we're going to work with what we've got. Apparently, there's a new plague going around. It searched me out in particular. Again, I had to remind everybody, missed you guys, that it is for entertainment purposes only. So if you see me, hit the like, hit the dislike, we'll talk. You might want to hit the like. I don't want to think about that. I'm like, yeah, I liked it. Yeah, share, tell your friends, subscribe. Tickle the bell. Takes a second. Get it off in about a nanosecond, so it works. I'm going to throw us into live chat this morning. Well, this afternoon by now. Um, my entire house is a disaster, so it doesn't pay for women to get ill because when we do, it's literally a disaster. So all right, everybody, I'll quit staring at that. As you can tell, I am my own set designer. I'm my own technical person. I do all the sound. I do the editing, and I'll be blessed if I don't get up on the camera and talk to y'all till you're bored. Just, I'm going to be here. I was going to say all week, but I tell you what, at one point, you have to be really sick. Everybody's like this. If you're not really sick, you're not going to go to the doctor or go. For me at the VA, I have to go through the ER if I don't have an appointment. So that means going downtown to the big hospital. Yeah, that's always fun. So I'm in this weird limbo, and I just didn't feel right. And I was okay there for a little bit, even though I did feel right. I take enough medicine, just you would think it would just pep anything that showed up. So I take like 14 meds a day. So yeah, I know, right? It's becoming costly even at the VA at $8 a script every month. And I have like 14, so that adds up to a lot of money, about 150 bucks. I got tax on everything. I love the new death tax. Yeah, two death taxes. I mean, can I come the fuck back so I can slap him once, I slap him again, and slap him again? You're not really bad, bitch. This is why it's not made for kids. So I had a great morning after the 2 days down. Robert still had pity for me, and he ran to the store. I was nearly out of milk. I craved milk. I have to have milk 2 or 3 times a day. It's very weird. After I had my son, I had this affliction of had to have milk. So the minute it gets low, everybody that knows me is running to find me a gallon of it. I get really bitchy. I mean, worse bitchy. Which says a lot right there. So, and he made breakfast, which again ended up being lunch, but bless his heart, he still tried. And both of us were just down for a couple of days. We did not do the 4th of July. The heat alone uh, deterred me. We were going to go to my son's about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's that, and the car's been cooking all day. So you get in the car and you're like, I mean, the way you said, I had to move the car. I said, okay, I'm going to move the car. It was like 2 days prior to that. And so I moved the car to the shade because I knew Robert and I were going to go to Sam's. Found the cutest little pair of shorts there. It's like they weigh nothing. They are so awesome. Go to Sam's, take a look. So it was like $10. You can't beat them. And so yeah, so I opened the door, and it was like 10:30 or 11. It wasn't even noon. I opened the door. I had to stand back. I was like, oh my god! I had to open both doors just to move the car a few feet, let it run for a second. It was that hot. So I wasn't looking forward to doing it on the 4th of July, but we were going to anyway. Both of us just couldn't do it. We had terrible headaches. Our faces were trying to come off. So I guess the air quality, I don't know which, but it really got me this time. So, yes, I'm trying to move my fat butt somewhere else. I always fidget when I get up here. Don't say it. You miss me. So, I know there's some haters out there. Gives them something to do. I've been looking at it, very little news. I guess when you're an invalid, basically what we both were. Luckily, Robert has like his own apartment, and I do too. It's like we kind of made him that during the pandemic, and he snores real loud, and I think he's going deaf because he won't get it checked. He says I mumble. It could be both. I'm hoping to get him to go check it. Certainly pays enough for his insurance. It's like So, of course, when you use that, it just goes up. They didn't actually pay anything. Well, there was supposed to be some left or whatever, but I'm newly retired myself. Robert is 4 years older than I am. Lucky dog. Makes a lot more than I do. Actually, I make more because he's my husband, which is astounding. I never thought I'd live to see this day anyway. And then, you're like drugging, kicking, and screaming. Literally, my husband was just fussing at me because I'll be 65 in August. Don't say it. You know better. I look adorable at 42. I did anyway. Yeah, I've gained weight. I'm literally a grandma. I've got grown grandchildren, literally grown grandkids. My one is out of the army now, and he's an army veteran like me. And I really pushed him at that for like since he was 7. And he tells everybody he did it to walk in my shoes or boots. Um, and then, of course, my stepchildren, grandchildren, they've had a wonderful career ahead of them. I'm so proud of the one young man. He's a medic, and he trained at Fort Sam. And it just killed me because when I was stationed at Fort Sam, I used to train. And so I was like, oh, yeah, he knew right where he was and what he was doing. It was wonderful to do that. And my son was practically raised anyway in San Antonio, then West Georgia. I think he's planning to retire there. I don't blame him. Except it's really freaky now because, like, there's no water in the Rio Grande. It's just some mud. Everybody sucked it out of there when I went across. It was like, I don't know how many million tourists are in there, but if they're reporting 6 million people in the last 3 years or so, well, you can bet you could triple that. There's like 20 million that's come across. And of course, they're turning anything green into the shanties. And this is what happened during the Depression because people couldn't live it was too high. And the same is true of them, bless their heart. Everybody wants to be in a better place. And this is what America's supposed to be. But you have to go through the right channels, I think. You know, if I go to Sam's, I have to show 3 different IDs, and my Sam's card, which they'll scan to make sure it's not fake. It's Sam's freaking Club, okay? Get a grip, people. I don't know what the heck anybody thought an 80-plus-year-old man would do in the Oval Office when he's been in politics and in D.C. for like 50 years. And I'm not good at math. Yeah. I mean, been around a long time because I was up there and I knew the guy. Creepy. So yeah. That's and for one, I know they stole it. They did a coup to get the election, which Trump did not help. He grabbed the wheel of the Secret Service car on January 6th and told them to turn around and go back. And they had to arm wrestle him for the car. There's no filters on that dude. And of course, the Georgia thing is because the idiot called the governor and said, surely you could find like 120,000 votes. And they probably could have just by checking the dumpster. But what killed me is they kept him. They waited until it was just about basically time to run for president. They all knew he was going to because I guess he's just PO'd about losing. I don't know. At his rate, I would have already said, screw you. I'm going to stay over here. But of course, they raid his home. You don't know what evidence they got if they got evidence. They also pointed out the fact that every president, I mean, how did the Clinton Foundation become the Clinton Foundation if they didn't take this shit over there with them? You know what they did? They took all the shit from the governor's office that he held in Arkansas. Then they took the 2 terms from D.C. and they made this place that gives them millions. Did you hear what she spent on her only daughter's wedding? You could have bought a third world country, 2 castles. It was like, yeah. And she didn't do nothing either, but at the same time, he did not have sex with that woman. Yeah. But this poor Trump dude, he's been dragged through the mud for an entire year being in court. And to the tune of like 480 million, and you have to give over your buildings or property, whatever, as an assurance that you can pay this fine. Who in God's name I mean, seriously, work with me here. Anybody got an idea how come that and why or wherefore that this could be charged to this man without ever ascertaining either guilt or innocence? And even if there was guilt implied, holy Hannah, that is thunder. Did y'all pick that up? My house just shook. I might even have one of those where I'm sucked out a window. You just can't win. I'm expecting my son to drop by for a few moments. I guess he'll have to wait now. I don't want him out in this weather. I need to call basically. I didn't. I just checked the weather radar too. Not a half hour ago, there wasn't anything on it for the entire day, and that means this supercell has just started evolving somewhere here in Augusta. We're almost at the center of Augusta. Almost. Um, we're right at the base. It was Fort Gordon. I have no bloody idea what they're freaking calling it now. It was Fort Gordon when I was TDY. It was Fort Gordon when my grandson was in the Army. They changed that sucker. I don't know why. Something about, I think the Civil War thing's still going on. Let's just change history and take all the statues out. Did they see how well that went for the Nazis? Didn't work out so good. Just idiots running around. I lost my train of thought because it actually made me jump. I used to be a storm chaser, and you just want to go find out where it's at, where it's come from, what it's doing. Well, I do anyway. I've been in several tornadoes, earthquakes, hurricanes, floods, fire. Yeah, I haven't missed much. By now, even the Lord's going, you don't want to die yet? I'm just saying. Tornadoes right through the backyard, taking out cars. And I've seen literally ball lightning come through my home, and nobody understood what it was. I had two witnesses, which was my son and his best friend, and they were sitting beside me on the couch. It came through. It was like a cupola area, a nice little seated area that I had made there. I grabbed them and threw them back because there was a nice big space back there. And as soon as it hit the tree, then it hit our wall, and then came through, and it hit the bedroom wall, went through, and continued on until it went beside the wall with the window, and it went out that way. And I didn't see any evidence of that, but there was evidence actually on the wall, so the scorch mark right out there. Freaking awesome. Meanwhile, my kids are, and of course, you tell kids, you throw them back there. They were light. They were just 9, 10 years old. And they didn't have to fall far. So I don't know if I hurt her worse than the damn lightning. And their little heads are just eyes. I was like, my God, get back under there. Because I didn't know what was going on, except that lightning had just come through my home. It was like arcing and stuff. You knew it was lightning, but I'd never heard about lightning. Very, very unusual phenomenon even today. Meaning, of course, that storms have come more frequently and bigger. I mean, way bigger. And so many. I've always been a chaser, and yet even in Tornado Alley, Oklahoma, and so forth. And at that time, neither Georgia or Alabama, they get the hurricane alerts and stuff, but they weren't things for tornadoes. They didn't even have a tornado siren. I've been here like 30 odd years off and on. And so I was like, okay, you don't have what you would. They don't have basements. They, they don't have storm cells. They don't have jack shit, buddy. So whenever a tornado comes, you're supposed to run to the middle of your house or get in your bathtub with a thing. And I'm like, really? You expect me to drag the mattress and just have something else to throw at me? Of course, there's a stair, and we have a staircase, and then underneath that is a whole storage area. But if you open the door, you have to catch things that are coming out because they'll fall on your head. And Robert and I both have cleaned it like every other 6 months or something. Like, oh, crap. But you'll get it cleaned up all the way through. You can get in there and have a lot of cats. And so we both are, what do we do? We have plenty of carriers, but we didn't want to do that to them. Maybe shelter in the RV in the hopes that if something happens to the house, we can go out to the RV. It's just because now Georgia's actually in the tornado risk area. Before it wasn't. When I was chasing, Georgia wasn't. So you just chased Oklahoma, Texas, that area, New Mexico, along that line. And it's just got lower and lower and lower until suddenly there's like 120 tornadoes just in a certain, say, the bottom half of Georgia. Georgia's a very big state, like Texas. Lots of mountains and stuff up north. Beautiful up there. So yeah, I'm like, nobody's listening to me. Suddenly on TV, I hear, well, yeah, they've increased by that, that. Where the hell have you been? I've had, see, just this year, or no, it was last year when the tornado went through. I twice I've been outside of something, so it's like somebody in my ear yelled, "Get inside now!" And you just turn and move. I did not go. Did you hear that kind? It just was. I moved, and within less than 6 seconds, the tree fell where I was standing. And these are big trees. They're little pine trees here, and so of course tables. It's like twice it's wiped out our patio furniture and shit. And it's iron, steel, whatever the hell it is, metal. It's got a glass top. We have one with tile, but it's a wood one, so you can't leave it out there. And we don't have it inside anymore because we've rearranged it. Remember, painted, put down wood floors, and we bought a bar. He thought it was a bar. It's a it's a bar. I love this thing. I mean, he's got it tricked out too because he put like in one of the little islands we had because the bar goes straight across, of course, and he used the area that you can see here as the doorway for the kitchen. So we closed that up with the bar. So we still have things through it. So, and we put a kitchen island next to the door frame and pushed it up to where it makes a slight L on either end of the bar. And he's got his ice maker and his blender, and he's got a sink, and he's got a refrigerator. He's got all that in here. So it's a bar. It's awesome. And I love what he did with the house. I just love it. And I'm a little worried now because it's unusual to hear thunder, especially when it just wasted. I don't know why. And this one's, oh, it's giving me fits again. I'm trying to pill up a little bit of the weather, but it's just talking to me the wrong way. These things, they say they're smart. I don't, does that imply we're not? This is why you missed me. Entertainment purposes, guys. I'm just that good. Come see me. I was going to do this and run in and get some shorts out. And at my age, it's a fight. Do you really want to wear shorts? You don't want to wear pants. You don't. So I have a lot of these little sundresses. I like these things. They're just light as a feather, and they're cute as they can be. It's still vintage, the '50s style, like the high waist, long skirt with the folds. It just kind of flows with you. At my age, you're not going to wear an envelope dress, which is the straight dress. You're going to go for the. Uh, I've always done that anyways. More of a cupcake style, maybe. I like the sweetheart necklines and stuff. So I buy various ones. And my poor husband, he's very good about that. Like when he took me to Sam's, and I won't drive over there. That's another story. But he took me to Sam's. So, oh yeah, here's clothes because I was looking for a new pair of house shoes. What I was looking for, I walked right out of my house shoes, so he really got a lot of worry. Usually I used to get moccasins because I go in and out a lot with them. So sure enough, I ended up finding a bunch of clothes I wanted. I managed to get out of there with just one outfit. so, so it was $100 less than it was the last time we went. Excuse me. So yeah, I've already done my little stifter for the day. So I was hoping to get a backbone to talk to y'all and then come on in here and take care of this house as if I'm 5 people, doing a job of 12. So I thought we could finish today. And I am a bit worried about weather. I did hear another crack like that. That was very close. Whatever was going on. That I know y'all heard that. It shook my house. Thunder shakes your house, folks. It's time to look around. Like, what the hell? It's not just my husband and I that got ill over the 4th of July. I would say weekend, but it's not. It is now. Happy Saturday, everybody. I actually know what day it is. It's hurdle. I can't stay on long. I just wanted to touch base with everybody, tell you, yes, I'm still living. So come see the old lady at the bar. I'm still here. Probably because the bar is stocked. It's a fucking bar. I use the same one with my husband. Of course, we have not gotten the extra room. There's an extra room upstairs. It's supposed to be my studio slash library slash office slash everything I want it to be. I took all the books out from downstairs, and I have a large, large collection of books, like 5 or 6 big shelf packed full of books and things. And I'm really upset because they're still in the boxes from what we had. We had to get a pod to put everything in while we were trying to get everything done. And so we just haven't got up there yet. And plus, when you're upstairs, it's hotter. Now, my husband's kind of cold lately, and so it's okay for him. We have a window unit up there to take out any extra heat. So he's got the fan, he's got a ceiling fan, he's got, the air conditioner in the window. And at first we ran it, pretty much constantly, at least the fan on low cool. And the light bill went up like $150, and we're like, frack. They just see you coming. We saved $7 this month. Robert just decided that he wouldn't let it go on cold for a long time. We saved $7. Might as well leave that bitch cold. So, yes, I have my little cigars. Robert picked up some for me. As I've said before, I'm a reformed smoker somewhat. I didn't touch anything but a vape for about 4 years. And then a friend of ours was smoking these, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know they had them in the States. I used to smoke these when I was over in Europe. And one of the reasons was because I used to give my cartons of cigarettes to my landlord as rent because that's what they wanted. They didn't want marks. Back then, everybody had their own money. Lira in Italy, marks in Germany, francs in France. So, yeah, confusing, of course. Still better what they got now, I think. I'm not there. And so, yes, here we are again. As I said earlier, I didn't see a lot of information on anywhere that I wanted to stay at. I really just went for movies and whatever was entertaining because we just felt so terrible. We barely got up and moved around, did the animals and all that. Because you just can't quit. Even when I had COVID-19 before people went out the pandemic and closed down. And I didn't get to a hospital. I managed to get it on my own, but I was so sick for a week. I just couldn't even keep water down. It was terrible. And so when it came out that it was, this was what you were looking for, I was like, oh, that's the SARS I had. Most people don't understand that COVID is it's just another form of the SARS influenza. Pulmonary usually gets the lungs. Something just making me itch. I don't know what it is. I don't see anything. I try not to look at this thing while I'm doing this. It's intimidating. Yeah. Takes a lot to intimidate me. Even myself. No, not so much. So, again, I decided, well, I'll pop in here, let y'all know I'm still alive. Damn, right? There's like 15 of Robert's relatives once I told you. Hey, Neville. My brother-in-law. He's funny. He's just funny. He's always laughing. He's a joy to be around. So, shout out to all my guys on Facebook. So, I'm probably going to get around to this and call you out in person. Just saying. If you're not subscribed, I'm going to name your ass. Get with the program. Most of them are veterans anyway. They know what I mean. But since we're got to get something wicked this way comes, I'll probably get off because it's in the earphone. I don't know if it would hurt me because I'm a little addle-brained anyways. But we don't want that burning shit going on. This was, as I was saying, this was an upper respiratory problem. So it's as far as I remember, so it knocked us down because we were ill a couple of days before we actually said, okay, we're not moving unless we absolutely have to. And that was just a few times a day when fresh water and so forth had to be taken care of with the kittens. And that was it, basically. Maybe drink the trash out, maybe change your bedding. But yeah, it was a rough week. So I was glad to see the weekend here because I actually got dressed. It's bad. If my bed's not made, I'm very sick. Because I always make sure that your feet hit the floor, that rack is tight. I was raised by a World War II veteran. I'm an Army veteran, lots of military in the adopted family, which I was mostly a part of. Even though there's a birth family mixed in there somewhere, it's absolutely confusing. And they're all jackasses. So, well, hypocritical jackasses. But I'm being kind of really. I don't know how else to describe them being nice. Yeah. Uh, they're still trying to get me to buy stuff. I had gone on to one of my sites. I had credit, and as I mentioned, I buy these little things. These little they're see-through. I don't know what they call them. I call them little sundresses, but I don't know what you would call them. They're vintage, but not exactly, and they're really thin. And they don't even need a zipper. I like to look for the ones that don't need a zipper. I don't know who invented the zipper at the back for women, but I'd love to hunt them down. I even tried to find the thing that would. I thought, okay, the zipper's in the back. There's got to be some kind of an implement you can reach in and get the zipper and pull it up. Yeah, not so much. There's some shit out there, but it's not gonna work. I got one, I know. Even Robert tried to find or build me one is what he did. It actually worked pretty good. So, but I mean, if your husband's not there, you can't ask your grandson or who. You've got to figure this out. So I just was smarter when I looked at any of the sundresses in particular. I would look at them on the magnifier and make sure they had no zipper. That they had like it's not spandex because it's really light, but you don't have to deal with the zipper. And if I had to deal with the zipper, I wanted it on the side so that I could do it. So a lot of mine are that way now. Either they're just a pull on or they have the side zipper. Even my full length ones usually have the side zipper, and I love those too. Still, it's just a flow of movement. They're nice to wear. And shorts to me have always been I don't know uncomfortable. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was raised where you had play clothes and you had good clothes, and I was always in my good clothes. But this the pair that Robert just bought me, I do love those shorts. So yeah, go check out Sam's Club. Find some light shorts for ladies. It really is a great material. I don't know what it is. I think somebody says a polyester blended something, but it's great. I mean, I wish I had 5 or 6 of those. Robert's going no. I can't get them in the drawer now. And I ended up with say 5, I think, new pair of shorts already for this year. Just being lazy and not going up and getting a bin. It's good. This is how hoarders start. You have bins stacked up. Yeah, those are winter clothes. I don't need them yet. Oh, those are summer clothes. Well, I could get some different ones. I go on rogues, put the stuff out, put some stuff back in. I have size sixes in my closet still. I haven't seen a size six for 2 years. So at this point, I should just. This is also, I end up with the bins. My husband, too. We'll fluctuate a little bit. And, one size, if you gain 10 pounds, you gain another size, at least for women. And so, in your waistline, everything for women, you get up another size. So these get packed into the back of the closet, and other jeans and shirts and so forth because I group them. And then I got a hundred because I have coats and I have long dresses for formal wear, and I have long dresses for evening wear and cleaning the houseware. I mean, it's just I don't prefer to stay in pants or jackets or shorts. I mean, I do all of them and have plenty of them. But if I'm just tooling around the house, even if I just dash to the Walmart over here, I'd rather have something light and easy to don. I hear my cats are going crazy, which concerns me because if you have animals, you already know this, but I'll reiterate it. Your animal sense if they see mine are running around, and that's bothering me. That was my kit that came by. He probably weighs 20 pounds. He's huge. I mean, it's almost, he's got these yellow eyes and a white face mask and then the black, just the ears. And he look at you like, oh, it's Batman. It's Catman. I call him Catman. I don't get out much. Anyway, yeah. So when your animals are reacting, there's something up. And for me, it could be paranormal. You never know if the ghost is around. And yes, we have a few of those sometimes. Or if it's bad weather. Now, my guys, they react to bad weather. They start gathering. And I think they call it a glamour as a gathering. I'm not sure. Wait, I can't remember now. There's something that very odd spot when they they say when the cats get together, it's called something. I think it's limerick. I'm not sure, but they have their own spots. It might be a foot away from each other, but if something's going on. They're all gathered together and they're looking at whatever direction that they have a problem. And my lights keep dimming. The only one that does that is here in the bar. And Robert and I were going to change the lighting situation in the bar room to a neon sign. It says bar or something like that. We just haven't done it. We really want to end that chandelier. that's what's that's what's illuminating me now. So I can't say I found anything interesting in the news. I haven't found too much in the paranormal world that I would go with. If anybody has any ideas, throw them in there, chuck them in. It's Saturday. Maybe there's people with live chats on. If not, leave it in the comments. I'll get back to you. I hope. It's like I said that for the last 4 days, yeah, it's even interfering with digital. I don't like how we've all had to go digital and analog without react the way it does now with these. If you get an EMP pulse, all your electronics are fried. You cannot replace anything in them. They're gone. That's it. It's just throwing away time. And I can't imagine everybody having to get rid. For one thing, there's two generations that will have to look up because they're always like shuffling along. You're there for dinner, you know. Well, so you're just talking by yourself, which I'm really good at, as you can tell. So I'm gonna. Yes, I tend to make jokes when I'm a little nervous, as you all probably know that. But I love you guys. Can't thank you enough for sticking with me on this. This is my 7th month on the air. I do not make money at this, just so everybody knows. It's not like I don't want to, but I do not make money at this time. I don't do it to make money. I do it because to me, it's social Woodstock. Everybody should be up here opining, meaning talking. Yeah, we could get up here. You don't have to go out. You have to get wet. You don't have to get hot. You don't have to spend money. You don't have to get gas. You just get out here and say, shit, I'm not taking this anymore. We get several hundred million of us. They might give a shit. Haven't been able to find that spot yet. Wood, Woodstock was a great ideal. And I think it would be awesome if this station or some station anyway will actually get that up and running. I'm a big amateur here, but then again, I go to the grocery store and I'm an unpaid, untrained cashier, so I can manage that. I just have to hit a button for you guys. Say no, it's not for kids, and I'm on. I love this stuff. So yeah, I'm thinking that we should go with that. If anybody else thinks we should be doing something different, let me know. I love the paranormal and current events. I kind of try to avoid if I don't feel well. If I have a headache, I'm not watching that shit. If you want to see something funny about how the law is practiced in the state of Georgia, and by the way, everybody is dirty. They're very dirty and have been for decades. I've been here visiting, I know. But the Fulton County judge was supposed to be suing Trump because of what he did, because the governor recorded him. It's just, you can't make this shit up. So they were suing him because of apparently whatever it was he said about you can find these votes. Dumbass. So, idiot. So yeah, so this Fulton County, I do not know why it was Fulton County because it was the governor I spoke to. Governor might be in Atlanta, but I don't know. I can't remember. I don't think Atlanta's the capital. It could be. It's a mess. That's a shitstorm up there. We're down here. It's not much better. And we're, of course, on the hurricane path for the Carolinas. So to come through us to get, where they're going across Florida over, depending. It usually comes to 10, hits 20, just like if you were driving to Texas or driving from Texas to Georgia, Interstate 10 and 20, you're good to go. Just make one turn and it's a pretty good drive for like 2 days. With me driving, I'm going to get a hotel a lot. And so this is what we were all talking about earlier. So yeah, at this point, Georgia has managed to come to the forefront of the news as I'm not sure what word to use for that. Crooked, bought. I don't know. You have to look for yourself and tell me what you think. I'm thinking it's real crooked. Oh, Judge Glanville, he's the one presiding in Fulton County. Again, the DA. This is DA Fannie Willis. Yes, she says Fannie. It's Fannie. Fannie I. Yeah, she's a big Fannie, all right. George's crooked. It's always been crooked. It's still a good old boy state. It always will be. That crookedness doesn't go to just the attorneys or the assistant DA or the DA or the lieutenant governor or the governor or the Supreme Court for the state of Georgia. It's all of them. All of them. You can't fight City Hall. That was true in the 20th century. Good God's teeth. I mean, what did you think it would be now? They know when you last shot. They know what you ate. They know if you slept. They know if you went to your girlfriends or boyfriends and you're married. They know all that stuff. Within 24 hours of surveilling you, they know everything. Even if they've spent that time, they spend that much time, about 10 minutes nowadays, because this stuff is really come out. This is another reason why I said we need to get out there, have our voices heard, talk to each other, find out what's going on. Like I said, it's this corruption. That is a good term, and it stinks all the way up to the Supreme Court of Georgia. Now they did finally do something about the Judge Glanville, presiding over the YGL trial. You need to check that out too. He had had an ex parte, that's what the word is, ex parte meeting in his office for hours with the main witness against the defendant, his attorneys, not secretary, stenographer, of course, the judge. No, they did not bring in anybody on the defendant's side. And this poor man's being sued. Well, he's in court for murder, basically. And so here's the main witness in there with all these people in the judge's chambers. And of course, somebody told the defendant's lawyer, Mr. Steele, been around a while. And so the next day, he was fired up. I mean, he was pissed off. It was fun to watch. You need to look it up because he was calling for his recusal. And I agreed wholeheartedly. You can't do that. It's against whatever said law they wish to apply or not. You cannot be off behind closed doors with all the people who are supposed to be against the defendant and don't bring anyone from the defendant's side to even know what was being said or whatever. That's illegal. You can't do that. It's a mistrial. And when I heard this, I immediately said he needs to be recused. It's a mistrial. Start over. You have to get a new jury. Start over. And he needs to be sued through the judicial courts for what he's done because he knew that was illegal. You know what he said when the defendant's attorney said that you guys had this meeting for hours, like 4.5 hours or some shit, and it had this person, nobody from the defendant's side. You didn't even call us, so we want a mistrial. That judge came unwound. He goes, "You tell me who told you this? I don't want to know what they said. I want to know who was the spy in my office." And of course, Mr. Steele, the defendant's attorney, said, "I'm not going to disclose that. I don't see any reason to disclose that. You should feel bad. You should recuse yourself, and I want a mistrial." The judge didn't like that. So he said, "I've held you in contempt. You go to jail for 20 days. You can go weekends for 20 days till you get all 20 in." This judge was so inept, and that's a good word for him, that he didn't know if he was charged with criminal contempt or civil. And the way he had it, he had civil and criminal both on this guy for contempt. There are two different contempts that you can charge a person with. Basically, the judge can screw your life up for 20 days easy, if not more. The January 6th perpetrators can tell you about them more. I heard they just recently got out, many of them. Complete carriage. It's a miscarriage of justice all the way around. So, and he sent the guy off to jail. And then the rest of them, there's an attorney association that protects and defends attorneys who have been charged with contempt by a judge because of this, that, or the other. In this particular case, he did not say who told him that this meeting had taken place and who was there. And this judge, every time he had him in front of him, he wanted to know who was it. He would recuse himself. He said this. The other attorney that was sent in to address the situation for Mr. Steele, the attorney, there was another attorney because they had this umbrella place where she's in charge. Might have been he last time, next time. But they hear these cases and they defend the people in these cases against the judge who's done it to them. Personally, I don't think a judge should have that kind of power, period, for nothing, no reason, no. And I don't know how they could do that. And he hadn't recused himself, yet he was going to, like this attorney explained to him, that represented Mr. Steele about the contempt charge, and he had already spent the week in jail or something. And before he went, he wanted to make sure that there was a bond available so he could bond out immediately and continue to defend his client. And the judge said, "Well, we'll get around to that." This was like on a Friday, So he was making sure that poor guy went to jail for a couple of days. And the attorney was there the next day for him. She's a little dynamite like her. And so she's like, "You understand that you charged him with contempt. That means you have to be at a hearing held by other judges. In our case, we'd like the Supreme Court of Georgia to attend. But we want you charged, and you have to go through a trial as a defendant, not a judge." But he didn't know that. He didn't understand there was a difference. He didn't say that, but he's looking at his computer and has had to take a break right afterwards when she said flat out, "You charging him with civil contempt or criminal contempt because the charges you've essayed against the man are from both. You got to pick one." You can't make this stuff up. And I've had the judge recused from the bench for similar reasons. Too much of a story to go into here, but yeah, if you don't know something, guys, if you have a problem legally, go online and find out. It's so awesome. I could be a vet in 20 days if I wanted to. I love this stuff. This is again why I touch base on Woodstock. It'd be nice if we could talk to each other. If you are interested in and you live in Georgia, and if you haven't seen this case already and you want a good giggle, this is the one. You can see it on YouTube. Discovered. There's always something about Judge Glanville or whatever. I think he finally, because he just came out and said he was going to have to do something about this ex parte, give them all the minutes of what happened, and he still wasn't recusing himself. And I don't think he dropped the contempt charge. And it turned out that the attorney was going every weekend so he could defend his client through the weekday. And the first 2 days, he wanted to be assigned to the sitting jail as his client so he could continue to defend him. It's nuts. This guy is a well-known attorney, and he was so hot. But not in a way, he was hurt. He'd never had to deal with something like that before. So, and he was very hurt by it. I don't know how many cases he had tried with this particular judge, but he had a problem with doing it, with what this judge had done to him. He was taking off his jacket, his tie, handing it to people. He was ready to go. I like it. Screw you. That's pretty much, off he went. But yeah, now the judge has been out. Like I said, I guess it was yesterday. It might have been Thursday. They're having to do this, that, and the other. I don't know how he's still on the bench. I think he did say he would accept recusal. I don't think he'll accept mistrial. Well, if he's recused from the bench, I had it for him. His mistrial is just like Steele said. Mr. Steele told him, you can pick one. It don't matter because and you got to get now because you got to be a civilian to answer charges that you brought against me. You can't be a judge and judge and judge and judge and everything. And God, you have to pick the charge and get your ass over here and be the prosecutor. And I'm the defendant. Let's make sure you got these. And still the guy said, "I can't be back in 5 minutes." He was on his computer right there on the bench. It was so easy to determine. This guy did not know whether he or would charge Mr. Steele, the defendant's attorney, whether they would charge him with civil contempt or criminal contempt. He did not know. He'd already mixed the charges out, which is what the other attorney for Mr. Steele had told him. But that's part of the Bar Association's contempt charge pool for attorneys that will go and defend these guys, and she happens to be the president of that particular section. She's awesome. She's also the one that took out Fannie Willis, and everybody should understand if your DA is that dirty, and she's talked to the government that many times, and the government has, so the governor has not stepped in to say, hey, and she kept saying she was not on trial. That Trump was on trial. They could put her up there all they wanted to. She wasn't on trial. It's like, oh my God. When they went to the Bahamas, she and the boyfriend who she paid, now they say only 80,000 or some shit, but they paid him nearly $1 million, what they said at first, for a while. I'm sure they've scrubbed those. In any event, he was married and all that, so she's taking him off to the Bahamas, and she's having him put it on his credit card because when she comes back, she'll give him cash. And that's how she paid for everything. She would just give him cash when they got back. Meanwhile, he's supposed to be an attorney under her suing Trump. Yeah, you can't make this shit up. That's just the system here. Just to give you an idea. I don't see people saying the truth about that stuff. Not per se, as to what the ramifications are behind it. So in other words, think of yourself in court and you're a defendant. And the prosecution's been in with the judge all afternoon. It finally strolls out to the courtroom at 4:00. Well, he ain't even called the jury in. And what the hell is he doing in there? What are they prosecuting you for now? Are you going to be? Is it a fair trial if they do something like that? No, it's nothing near fair. It's illegal as shit. This judge did not seem to know that his power was limited. That he could not turn to these people and say, "Well, you're just going to jail." Because it's not legal. Now, judges have been getting away with this for centuries, if you ask me. But I know for a fact that Georgia's whole legal system is crooked. It's beyond description, really. It's awful. I always felt for them anyhow. I didn't ever understand why. When you get a divorce, you got 3 kids. You're not working, but the husband is. 3 jobs because you get him to pay you alimony, child support, whatever else the judge is throwing on your back. I had a divorce. I had a child. No, I did not. I was my own attorney. I had to fire a couple of them. And yeah, I went to the law library at UTHSC. I put my own divorce together and went in front of the judge and applied to all that, did all that stuff myself. And of course, that's all I wanted was a divorce and custody of my son and my name back. That was it. And she was like, "You're not going to take the college funds back. You're not going to get alimony. You're not," because I've been 10 years married. That's alimony. And college that you paid for and all that. Because I had all those receipts and I sent all that. Look, this guy's he's just worthless. I want a divorce so he can stay with his girlfriends and I can get the kid and go on because I have to work 4 jobs to get this done. So yeah, and she was like, why don't you just become an attorney? I've never met anyone that could do their own divorce and do it so well. It doesn't even ask for alimony or child support. It's like, he didn't do that when I was married to him. Why would I do that now? He's just, that's just, why does anybody get to say, okay, you've got 2 jobs and you can afford the kid, so you can pay the wife, the woman, whatever you want to say, all these monies because you were married and you have to take care of the kids. Whoever can afford the kids should be getting custody of the kids, and the other whenever it can be worked out. But to pay one because they're a mom or a dad, I don't understand that. I don't like it. I don't think it's fair to either party. If I'd have wanted him to pay for the kid, I mean, I just gave him the kid. It's just easier. But no, I didn't want any money. Like I said, he didn't have the money anyway. Never did. He was smart. It was a tag too, and he just didn't do shit. Well, he did, but it was usually with other women. So you just can't make some of this up. My time is up. I thought I'd just do 30 minutes, and with that big crack of thunder the way it was, I really thought I'd be out of there faster. I can tell I haven't been around for a couple of days. I apologize again for that. Thanks for all the love and support y'all have sent me while I've been down. I do appreciate it. Sometimes I just don't feel like bothering. But again, I don't make money on my channel. I want to make sure that all of us can stand up and be heard. And we don't have to be outside in the rain, whatever. You can do it from the comfort of your own home and still opine about what we believe in or don't believe in or what we think's wrong, what's right, whatever. in Woodstock. This is the only model I can find this that technically explains what this channel is about. It's about anything and everything, whatever in between. Whatever you want to talk about, you can't talk about personally that you think you can't talk. You talk about it on the air. Get that little spot sign or something. Wear a hood. I don't know. I had people ask me, "Aren't you weary about how many looking at you?" I was like, "No, I've always been stared at for one thing all my life. Even when I was being adopted at the orphanage, they had this room that was all windows, so they could look at the kids and decide which one they wanted. We used to take the heads off the dolls and throw it. They're still always nice. I'm little, but I'm not nice, and I will get an equalizer on your ass in a second. I'll pay somebody. I don't care. I'm from Chicago. I was raised right, man. I like the songs. Yeah, some of us just are not easy pushovers, and there's other ways we are. Depends on what we're getting pushed by. Let's see. I think that was about it for today, Gabe. Again, I love all y'all. Please hit the like, the dislike, tell your friends, hit the bell, subscribe a little bit. It does help with the channel. I did want to keep the channel going. It has had a very slow start, I have to admit. I was also told the people are leery about the hippie at the bar. I'm Lady Hippie, and that they're afraid of having that connotation because it usually denotes that they're a drug addict. I'm keeping hippie. I don't think that they should be able to label anybody a drug addict, at least not in public, because it's a total ignorance of their rights as a person and privacy. That's way overdone now. I think they've gotten the point across that don't get any painkillers because you're a drug addict. I don't know what that was all about. Uh, it's like during the pandemic, I saw these people running in to get these tests, get these shots, and these vaccines. And I was like, they've done there for decades with the swine flu or influenza. Swine flu is what I remember it as, the pig flu. It was like pig flu. Okay, yeah, you had to be there. So I better just wrap today, give everybody a break, see what I can get done with the house, which probably will not be much. And I hopefully will be up here tomorrow, if not maybe Monday. If any of you miss me, do please tell me because I love to see that stuff. I don't get out of that. Till then.